On behalf of the state of Ohio.
Daniel Mashevitz on behalf of Michael Stennett.
Matt Bezbachenko on behalf of the city of Cleveland.
Alyssa Barbosky on behalf of the Public Defender's Office, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Yeah, the first case we're going to call is Michael Stennett, charged with menacing by assault and violent sexual activity. When the hearing report today.
Your Honor, on behalf of the state of Ohio would respectfully request a dismissal without prejudice. Your Honor, we would reserve the right to represent to a grand jury after a further full and complete investigation. Your Honor, the defendant still continues to be held under bond under case number 670305 in the Court of Common Pleas.
Mr. Mashevitz, we visited this case yesterday, and I wrote for a personal bond. Was that on the other case or this case?
On this case, Your Honor, so we'd ask that he be released today. He's
Well, I don't run the jail, so I wrote for him to get a personal bond yesterday. And my other issues with the whole sequence of events in this case, which I'm not going to go to on the record. But another judge had the whole hearing on this and asked me to sign off on it, so I did. But I can't apply GPS devices and run the jail. I can't do it. So I would say if they're not putting, I didn't ask for GPS.
correct, Your Honor. We're going to follow up today with the Sheriff's Department to make sure that it's placed on and that he's released.
So who's author, is that the Court of Common Pleas on the other case asking for a GPS device?
Yes, Your Honor.
Great. So I'm afraid you're going to have to do that. You're going to have to hound the sheriff, because I can't, as much as I'd love to be able to run everything, sadly I don't. So, great. This is dismissed without prejudice.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Stennett's appearance in court today was brief. It only lasted just a few minutes before the judge ultimately dismissed the charges. The Cuyahoga County Prosecutor's Office told 3 News that a motion to reduce the bond was filed because they have inconsistent evidence to substantiate the stalking complaint against Stennett.
County Prosecutor's Office dismissed felony charges related to allegations he was stalking. What?
Saturday, May 6th. Lachelle Jordan steps out of this home to retrieve an item from this car. It was 6 o'clock in the evening when she just vanished. Thursday, May 11th, another news conference, this one held by the family.
I'm out here solely because I want to bring our daughter home.
Then late Thursday, a frail, barefoot, and tattered Lachelle Jordan stumbles into this convenience store at around 10:45, miles from where she disappeared.
You'll never believe this. We just got a call from Lachelle Jordan. She said she got away from the people that kidnapped her. They tried to burn her alive.
It's kind of weird because, like, I just don't know why there weren't arrests made if you were, right? Which I believe her. I mean, it seems very, but like, couldn't she be like, this is who be? If it was this guy, wouldn't it be open and shut? Was there other people?
Who took Lachelle? What happened to her while she was away? How she got free? All that still unknown. Do know Lachelle was found just before midnight. She was found at this convenience store. It's open pantry here on 166 and Euclid. Again, she called 911 from this store. The surveillance video you saw first on News 5, we're going to cue it up for you so you can see, shows Lachelle walking inside the store. She's limping, she's barefoot, her clothes ripped, with what was said to be blood or burn stains on her shirt. The store clerk telling our team Lachelle appeared to be hurt. He told us she gave her a phone to call for help.
I come to the store inside and give the store phone to her, and she called the police, and police come and help to her. I see that kind of things to hear. That I help to them like a phone to contact everyone. Then when she get the phone, then she immediately called the police.
So you guys remember that lady, the EMT lady, right? This lady that she was supposed to testify against this guy that has charges for, she was supposed to be like one of the key witnesses. She was an EMT. She was allegedly being stalked by that very same person that she was supposed to testify against. And then I think it was the day of testimony or something like that. This woman disappears. Then she turns up later because she's seen walking into a convenience store with, like, I think her shirt's ripped. I think her breasts are exposed. she had claimed that they were trying to burn her, right? Weird story. Lots of missing pieces. Doesn't make sense because the guy that she was supposed to testify against and the guy that had been allegedly stalking her was only charged for the previous stalking incidents. He wasn't charged like in her disappearance or like holding her against her will. So it's like, who was holding this woman? Why wasn't he charged for anything? It's just odd and bizarre. So check this shit out, because I was looking the other day and that shit just still had me like questioning. Like, I don't really get it. I don't really get it. So I saw this article. I've been waiting to tell you guys, but I was like, I wanted to wait for something more before I even talk about it. But since we're just chilling here, on the same day that prosecutors dropped charges against the man accused of stalking Cleveland EMT who went missing, that EMT is speaking out, making her first public comments in News 5. During a court hearing Thursday morning, Cleveland youth baseball coach Michael Stennett, 65, was freed on bond after the Cuyahoga, whatever the hell you say that, county prosecutor's office dismissed felony charges related to allegations he was stalking. What? I'm confused by this.
We know Jordan was to testify against Michael Stennett, who's accused of. He also has been charged with stalking and ignoring a protective order issued by Jordan. He was arrested but not charged or named as a suspect in Jordan's disappearance.
So dismissed felony charges related to Ali. I'm confused by this because when we were hearing like the articles that I had read, it's not like she was just saying that she was being stalked. I thought that like she had reported it to her employer. This guy allegedly was showing up to the scenes where she was responding to like people in distress needing help. This dude would supposedly just be standing out there like staring at her, like breathing, just staring and shit. So the charges were dropped. Dismissed felony charges. Cuyahoga, thank you, Liz. Cuyahoga. So I need to interject here. This is real time Mel. I'm editing this video. I keep finding information, and so I had to jump in to add this here. And really, really good article. This breaks down the whole stalking allegations, which puzzles me even more why these charges were dropped. So this is a little backstory. Lachelle Jordan, 30, of Cleveland, Cuyahoga, whatever, County, Ohio, United States, has 2 children. She was recently hired at the East Cleveland Fire Department as an emergency medical technician. Michael Stennett, 65, of Cleveland, is a longtime youth baseball coach. In May 2022, he was charged with 1 count of abduction and 2 counts of R. Now here's the nitty gritty. On January 4, 2023, Stennett stood outside Jordan's home and refused to leave. Since then, she filed at least 11 reports for someone stalking her, violating a protection order, and damaging her home. And this just goes to the whole thing of like, these people, the system, like these things in place, these protection orders, I mean, they do nothing. And I get that's not going to protect you, but like when you're filing all these police reports and then now it's being dismissed in court, I guess there's pieces of the puzzle that we're missing. It doesn't make much sense to me. Maybe there's a plan. I don't know. Stennett was accused of engaging in a pattern of conduct causing Jordan to believe that he would cause her physical harm or mental distress. As a result of his actions, on January 13, 2023, a protection order was served on him. Okay. Several times in April 2023, Jordan told police she noticed Stennett following her in his personal vehicle while she was working, and he would wait outside her home. According to her, a woman who is his friend had stalked her and tried to run her off the road. Now, this makes me think too, because we don't know who was involved in her being taken against her will. And this guy hasn't been charged for any of that. So we've been asking, was there multiple people? What is going on? I wonder if that's potentially, could that be somebody that maybe they had something to do with it? I don't know, but it's interesting. This is the first time that I've heard of somebody else allegedly on his behalf working and helping him stalk her. It's a weird story. On April 25th, 2023, authorities told Stennett that he would be placed in jail or on a global positioning system, monitoring if he did not comply with the no contact order. They're giving him chances on chances on chances on chances. On May 4, 2023, Jordan noticed him watching her from his vehicle when she left her home. At around 6 a.m., May 6, 2023, shots were fired at a window in the home Jordan and her twin sister Lachelle occupied together. Shots fired, okay? In the evening, Lachelle disappeared after going to her car that was parked on the street in Glenville, Cleveland. May 8th, so I had it off by 2 days. On May 8th, Lachelle was supposed to attend a pretrial hearing in the R case involving Stennett. That day, he was charged with 1 felony count each of menacing by stalking and violating the protection order while committing a felony while she was still missing. So while she's missing, the day shots were fired, later that evening, she goes missing, okay? 2 days later, she's supposed to attend this pretrial hearing. And she's missing. The pretrial hearing happens. That day, he was charged with 1 felony count each of menacing by stalking and violating protection order, which is so crazy. This is how the system works, right? All these other police reports, I would think should have been sufficient enough. All these like warnings, and we're gonna threaten to put a GPS thing on you, but not do it, right? And oh, now they did it. All right, amazing that they did that, right? And so she's missing. They charged this guy, and then he's arrested on May 9th, 2023. She's still missing at this time. Stennett was arrested and booked into the county jail in Cleveland on a $100,000 bond. At around 10:35 p.m. on May 11th, Lachelle slowly limped into the open pantry convenience store in Collinwood, Cleveland. Barefooted and wearing ripped clothes, Lachelle told the store counter that she escaped the people that took her and tried to burn her alive. She called 911 and was later conveyed to the Cleveland Clinic in Cleveland for medical treatment. So while she's gone, he gets arrested. So clearly she was with other people, whether it's one other person, 2 other people, I don't know. This is strange and bizarre, and he hasn't been charged for anything yet and related to her disappearance. And the only thing that they, I believe, had on him was the stalking, menacing charges. So in a statement released to First News 5, the prosecutor's office wrote, "We have inconsistent evidence to substantiate the stalking complaint." The statement also said the investigation will continue and numerous law enforcement agencies are involved in the investigation. Court records state Stennett was placed on electronic GPS monitoring in order to stay away from Jordan. Meanwhile, Jordan spoke out for the first time since her disappearance to News 5 investigator Sarah Budusan. On Thursday, Jordan said she was and ran when I got the chance. Jordan said she was not ready to speak on camera about what happened and declined to share any additional details. She said the police told her not to discuss her case further because it is still under investigation. No arrests have been made. I find that odd as hell. Very odd. Jordan said she is still in the hospital recovering from injuries. She said she is grateful for her Cleveland EMS colleagues and everyone else who searched for her. She said her family has visited her, including her 2 children. Surveillance video shows Jordan limping into an open pantry, a convenience store on 16625 Ulcid Avenue 1 week ago, at the time she had been missing for 5 days. Stennett still faces 2 counts of rape and 1 count of in Cuyahoga. Okay, I got that. I think this time County Court of Common Pleas. News 5 does not usually reveal the name of individuals who tell police they are victims, but Jordan gave approval to News 5 to report that Stennett is accused of Jordan. I didn't even get down this far into the article. I didn't know that she's the victim. Stennett had been offered a plea deal, according to the prosecutor's office. Jordan said she was unhappy with the deal. She was scheduled to do an on-camera interview with News 5 on May 8th before a pre-trial hearing in the case. It is unclear if the same plea deal is still being offered to Stennett. This is so bizarre, man. Jordan first reached out to News 5 in January. She was concerned Stennett was still working at the Zelma Watson George Recreation Center despite facing felony charges. After our report aired, Stennett was placed on unpaid administrative leave. So this guy had a job with charges. I mean, I know you're considered, I guess, innocent until proven guilty, but usually a lot of these jobs won't F with you. You get something like that. So let's talk about this job, right? Like I said, I was kind of reading and looking, so I had a lot to kind of add to this video besides just clipping the live stream. So she was upset because they actually had worked together at this job. Somehow, with felony charges, this guy was still working there until News 5 started questioning them about this situation. And imagine you're AR'd and it's your coworker, and your coworker just keeps getting to work there and you have to leave because you can't stand to work with the person that AR'd you, you know, allegedly, because it has to go to trial. But apparently they have some things in place too, that if you have felony charges, they're supposed to remove you without pay or put you on administrative leave. So it says here, he's been charged with R. So why was he working at the Cleveland Clinic Recreation Center? And until News 5 investigators started asking questions, which salute to these people, a Cleveland recreation instructor accused of R-ing a former coworker was still working with kids and teens, despite a city policy stating employees facing felony charges should be placed on unpaid administrative leave. Michael was placed on unpaid administrative leave Tuesday afternoon, one day after News 5 investigators asked city officials why Stennett was still working as a recreation instructor at Zelma Watson George Recreation Center. So this article is kind of old. It's from January 10th, 2023. In an email and text messages, Marie Zikifus, press secretary, City of Cleveland, wrote, the city was very recently made aware of these charges. She wrote, Stennett was placed on leave after a hearing at 1 p.m. Zikifus or Fusi did not know why it took 8 months after his indictment on felony charges for Stennett to be placed on leave per city policy. So in this place, I guess you can be charged, not convicted, but charged of R-ing your fellow coworkers. And it's just like, well, you know, just sit there and chill. You get paid, keep working, and, you know, good luck with the other person. They'll just have to see you every day. I wonder if they did any kind of investigation themselves. The Cleveland Human Resources policy says any city employee facing felony charges should be put on unpaid administrative leave. However, there are 2 loopholes. The policy also says it's up to the employee to report the charges. The police also says an appointing authority can allow the employee to continue working if it's determined charges do not interfere with the employee's job duties. So are they trying to say the policy also says it's up to the employee to report the charges? Oh, so they're saying it's up to them to, maybe nobody told the job. I mean, I don't know. Okay, so we know that May 9th, he has 2 counts of R. This was in 2022, 2 counts of R and 1 count of abduction. Stennett's accuser reached out to News 5 because she was outraged. Stennett was still on the job and working with children. At this time, News 5 is not naming her to protect her privacy. This is an old article. Now she's given the okay to name herself. But this article has a lot of interesting information. And so she said, if this was you, your mom, your sister, your aunt, your cousin, would you want the same person still having their job? She asked. If he's willing to do this to me, then he could do it to anybody else. She said Stennett SA'd her inside his office at the rec center on August 10th, 2021. How these people can let this guy still work there, I don't know. Oh, now he's on administrative leave, but he took a piece of me away. The system is just slapping you in the face, she said about Stennett's continued employment after his indictment. She said it sent her the message that what I went through doesn't matter. Stennett's accuser said that she and Stennett were friendly prior to August 10th, 2021. On that evening, she said they were locking up the rec center after a storm knocked out the power. She said Stennett then asked her to watch a video in his office and R'd her. She immediately went to the hospital for SA forensic examination and filed a police report 2 days later. She also eventually left her job, which she loved. She said it was too difficult to see Stennett each day. I couldn't think, couldn't eat. She said I was dying inside, to be honest. And News 5 reached out to Dan Weeks, Stennett's attorney, in an email. He replied, we have no comment. A City of Cleveland database said Stennett was hired in 2016 and listed his salary as $16,000 per year. I just wanted to add this portion as well with the stalker situation and add more of where I got the whole showing up at the scenes of her job. Jordan became a Cleveland EMT after graduating this past January. Dave Jockers, vice president of Cleveland Association of Rescue Employees Care, says Jordan was worried someone was following her. I was made aware from the division that she may have been having an issue of stalking, but we didn't know the extent of it. However, Jocker says the alleged stalker would show up at places where Jordan was working. It got so bad she transferred to EMS headquarters within City Hall. Oh, she seemed scared. Jocker admits she was scared. I don't get it, how this stuff was dropped, but thank you guys so much for watching. Please hit the like button, subscribe, turn on the bell notifications, and I'll keep an eye on the story. All right, love you guys. Peace. Bloop, bloop.